Hey guys, and welcome! Today we got the patch notes for update 5.2 that will be released on Tuesday next week, and this comes with a lot of improvements and changes and also a bit of new content. So let's get right into it. As usual, I will go over the most important things here in this video, but if you want to read through the full notes as well, you can find a link to them in the description below. And the first point, and probably the most interesting one, is the map rework of Hourglass. This is the last of the vanilla maps that gets an overhaul, and in my opinion it's also the one that needed it the most. Similar to former map reworks, they added a lot more cover in all areas, raised and lowered terrain to break lines of sight, and also removed objectives or added new ones to improve the flow on the map. But in addition to this, the overall size of Hourglass was also massively reduced, mainly to keep combat focused and reduce the travel time between objectives. As a result, however, the stadium that was located in an outer part of the map will no longer be playable. But the highway, on the other hand, was made more interesting and has several destroyed spots now that also allow you to access the newly added underground part of the map, with which gameplay was moved onto a second level to add more variety. And only judging by the clips we got, the rework looks pretty good, probably one of the best so far, but it's of course a lot more interesting to play it. And we have indeed the chance to take a look at the map a bit earlier than usual, cause EA has invited me to participate in a streaming event on Monday, July 31st, which means I will be able to play the new map for about 2 hours from 7 PM to 9 PM CEST and give you a first look at Hourglass 2.0. So mark your calendars, turn on notifications, and don't miss out on this. Back to the update now, we will also get a new feature to improve squad play, or actually 2 features, and the first one is the squad orders mechanic that was moved to update 5.2 from the original 5.1 release, and that will grant you additional XP for giving orders when you are the squad leader and for following orders as a squad member. Right now we already have the option to give orders as a squad leader, but you won't get any XP for it, and your squad also doesn't benefit from following these orders. So the feature itself is there, but it's mostly ignored since it doesn't have any effect. This will hopefully change with the new squad orders mechanic, and especially the role of the squad leader is getting more important again. But this also means that squad leaders can lose their position again when they are not acting upon order requests, because in this case the player who has requested the orders will get promoted. What you can do as a squad leader, on the other hand, and that's the second new mechanic, is to lock and unlock squads and even remove players from them when they should get too annoying or simply to make space for a friend. So after the update, the squad leader has full control over the squad again, similar to former titles of the series, and all the drama we had back when the squad management system was released without this kick feature was basically for nothing. Moving on, this update will also include the attachment overhaul for all remaining Vault weapons, which means that all Vault SMGs, LMGs and Sidearms will receive the 2042 attachments that Assault and Marksman rifles already have, and this concludes the rollout of the Vault weapon overhaul across all categories. And in addition to the attachments, the damage curves, dispersion, recoil behavior and accuracy were tweaked for the Vault SMGs and LMGs to make them feel more consistent to their all-out war counterparts. This balancing will be monitored closely, of course, and there will be further changes made if necessary. But the Vault weapons are not the only ones that get touched with the update, because the dispersion of all other SMGs and LMGs was adjusted as well, similar to the assault rifle overhaul that was made earlier this season. This means that all-out war SMGs now have a higher starting dispersion, but their maximum dispersion and rate is comparable to one of the assault rifles. And for LMGs, the rate at which the dispersion increases and the minimum dispersion while moving was increased. In return, bipods on LMGs were made more effective against dispersion and recoil to compensate for the aforementioned changes. So LMGs will get harder to handle when moving, but easier to use when a bipod is deployed. Besides this, there were also several fixes made to dispersion inconsistencies that could appear on several weapons when the player was moving. The laser sights were adjusted once again to be aligned, and an issue was fixed that caused players to move slower as intended when aiming down sights with the XCE bar and the BSVM. When it comes to the vehicles, there were also a few changes made, and here there was a mechanic added that allows you to exit ground vehicles into the direction you're looking at, and on some of them you can even exit to the back of the vehicle. Additionally, radar missiles should no longer be able to lock onto stealth helicopters or hit through flares, which happened quite a lot lately, and there was finally an issue fixed that resulted in a black screen when switching between zoom in and zoom out on vehicles. This bug was present in several titles for more than 10 years already, but it is hopefully fixed now. And another important change that was made is to the resupply function of ammo crates, because they now have a shared cooldown between each other, which means that when you resupply it yourself at one of them, you cannot just go to another crate and resupply yourself again. They will all be on cooldown at the same time. And I just recently thought that this change might come to the game because of the increased explosive spam and the fact that we had this shared cooldown in former titles as well. So here it is. But in return, the cooldown was also reduced from 20 to 15 seconds, and the recharge time of both ammo and med crates was lowered to 16 seconds, down from 30. So as a support player, you will be able to place your crates a lot more frequent. In addition to this, ammo crates will now give an extra magazine to both primary and secondary weapons, but the resupply rate of grenades and rockets is still 1 and is not affected by this. What was fixed as well is an issue where anti-tank grenades bounced off vehicles without detonating when the vehicle was a bit further away, and I had this issue so many times that I'm really happy they finally fixed it. Same goes for C5, because here there was an issue fixed that caused it to bounce off other C5 that was already attached to a target. And there were improvements made towards some cases where throwing C5 at fast-moving vehicles would not stick. In addition, the unlock requirements for the smoke grenades were changed across all classes, and it's now available at level 1 and is the default grenade of the recon and support class instead of the frag grenade. This change was made to show new players the importance of smoke when it comes to the aforementioned classes, and that concealment is the best friend of a support player. And last but not least, there was also a small change made to the game mode Rush, because here the attackers will no longer be able to see an icon when defenders are defusing an MCOM, and the other way around, defenders will also not be able to see when attackers are arming an MCOM. This was made because the devs found that this mechanic made it a little too easy to just run in and defend the objective when the icon indicated an action, and they want players to pay more attention of their surroundings instead of only relying on these indicators. And that's it for today. Many good changes and improvements so far that will be coming our way with update 5.2 on Tuesday. And don't forget to keep an eye on the channel for the early look at Hourglass on Monday evening. If you enjoyed this video here, don't forget to drop a like or a comment below and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until then, thanks for watching and thanks to my members for the additional support. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.